Hey guys, the Gadget Man here with nothing but gadgets, and today I'm going to be showing you the Surfola SD810 dash camera. So 3, 2, 1, let's get at it. Okay guys, this camera was sent to me by the Surfola company to do this review for free, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. But first, let's break this baby out of the box and see what they sent me. Okay guys, this is what they sent us in the box. This is the forward-looking camera. It's a 4K camera. We have our rear HD camera back here. The suction cup mounting base for the forward camera. This is the power cord for the whole system and for the forward camera, which comes with an included GPS device on it. This is the cable to run to the rear camera, which is intended to be sticky glued to the back window of your car. It's not an exterior camera. You basically put it up like this and glue it to the back window. Okay. Here's some extra sticky pads. One for this. I'm not even sure what this is for, but it's an extra sticky pad regardless. This is to help you fit your cable in around the molding of your car. You can use this to pry it out with. Okay. Have a USB-C data cable. I'm assuming that is to connect to this to transfer data off of it, and a little tiny reset pin. Okay, so that's what comes into the box. Guys, I'm going to mount this to my car and do some testing with it and come back and show you the results. So hold on, I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I'm back and I've had a little while to test this camera, and so I'm going to give you my opinion and some samples of how it did in testing. Now, if you don't know how to install this camera and you want to see a walkthrough guide of how to actually install this camera on your card, after the technical and samples review, I will have a little video montage to give you the basic idea how you install this on the car. Every car is going to be different, but it will give you a general idea how you're supposed to run the cords and stuff like that. So just skip past this part if that's what you're looking for, okay? So let's jump right in to the samples. So I took it out and did some driving. Okay, so let's start with the daytime driving, and this is setting in the 4K settings. So here we go. And now let's do nighttime driving. So here we go. Okay, so that gives you a good sample of how this camera is going to perform. Both in bright day and at nighttime. Okay, so it really does its job. It works. You can see what the camera is filming. It has a wide angle on it. There's really not a whole lot to say there. It's not the absolute best footage I've ever seen out of a 4K dash cam, but it's totally usable. Okay, this is a dual cam system, so it has a rear camera. So I'm going to show you the same footage from those same periods. From the rear camera. So okay, so here is the rear camera footage, bright day. And the nighttime footage. Okay, so, in the daytime, the rear camera is not nearly as good as the front camera, obviously, and it's viewing through the window, so the window has, you can see the windows there, but in the daytime, it's perfectly functional. You can see what's going on back there. It's not like the clearest because of the window being there, but, if something happened back there, you could kind of see what was going on. At nighttime, obviously, it has no nighttime vision at all behind you. And let's be honest, there's not a whole lot going on behind you, because what's going on behind you is where you're leaving. About the only time you're going to need anything captured in the rear of your vehicle is if another car, say should impact you. And if that happens in the daytime or at nighttime, at nighttime, they're going to have headlights on, so you would be able to see at least some headlights coming. But, there's nothing, it's not showing you anything in the rear at night. And most rear dash cameras, systems, the rear camera doesn't really see anything at night. And so that's not unusual for this camera here. Okay, that's just pretty standard for the industry. Well, the camera does have alternate settings. It has a 2K setting. It has a 1080p setting at 30 frames per second. So I took it out and tested all of those different settings. So let me go ahead and show you everything in a sequence. And this is going to be bright day. So this is going to be the 4K again. Now the 2K. Now the 1080p at 30 frames per second. My personal opinion is the best setting to put this camera at would be the 2K setting. It is not as detailed and as clear as the 4K, but it actually uses a lot less data to record at 2K. So let's talk about the data, okay? Because these cameras are used in order to record important events that you may need, say an accident or something that may be important in your car. That's what you're having in there. You're not making a, National Geographic film with these things. The purpose of these is to record important data if you should have an accident or a deer should collide with you or whatever, So that's their purpose. And this camera totally functions good at that. But this review is not about how the camera functions as much as it is to give you a comparison. You're going to spend your dollars buying a dash cam, and you need to know how one compares to the other, because that's why you came to watch this video. You're trying to make a decision on what to buy. So I'm trying to give you the information that you can use to compare, all right? Stuff that's not going to be found in the manual or in the specifications, okay? Because you can read the specifications on Amazon.com or wherever you want to buy this, okay? That's not going to tell you how it's going to perform in the field. So at 4K quality, you're going to be able to record approximately 128 minutes of time on a 32 gigabyte SD card. So essentially 2 hours. So as long as whatever happens, it only records 2 hours. Now it does have loop recording, which means that it will be able to start overwriting the earliest files as soon as the card fills up. So in 2 hours, after you start recording the first thing, it's going to start overwriting the first files, the oldest files on the card. So that's kind of a short period of time. And I've actually had some events that occurred, and I'm like, I want to get that off the card, but then I forgot to take the card out. And a few hours later, that file had been overwritten because of the loop recording function, and I lost that footage, okay? So 2 hours is an okay time as long as you remember to get the card out. Now it does have a lock feature that you can use in the system here, and the battery life on this thing is out when it's not plugged in is not great. It's only just a few minutes, but it goes. You can see there's the record button. You see this little exclamation mark right there. If you hit that, it's going to basically lock a file. So see, it already went to low battery, just turned off it. So the battery life on this just really, you have to have it plugged in to use it, okay? I need to get a USB-C cord, and I'll talk about that later to plug this in when I'm doing this, and for that reason. But anyways, I was just showing you that you can lock a file so it will not be overwritten, okay? Now, So going back, so record time on this camera at 4K quality is 128 minutes on a 32 gigabyte SD card. At 2K quality recording, you're going to get 188 minutes, so about another hour worth of recording time at 2K quality. And at 1080p quality, it can record approximately 228 minutes, so another 45 minutes basically. So total, even at the lowest quality at 1080p, you're going to get less than 4 hours on a 32 gigabyte card. That's a long time to record, and the bit rate on this camera at 1080p is really low, and that's why the quality is so low, is because not only did they change the resolution size, they lowered the bit rate. The bit rate at 4K is 25,000 kilobits per second. The bit rate at 1080p is only 9,000. So they reduced the bit rate for the HD footage, and that's why when I showed you that sample, it just really wasn't really very good. It's because of a lower bit rate. And that really has a big effect on the quality. You take a HD footage and you give it 50,000, 52,000 bit rate, it's going to be as good as the 4K footage. A lot of people don't understand that 4K, 2K, HD, those are just resolutions, or basically the size. It has nothing to do with the quality, okay? Don't be confused by that. The bit rate actually has more to do with the quality of the footage than the actual size of the footage. So 4K at a low bit rate is not very good. Okay, so let's talk about some functions the camera has. Okay, so the camera does come with a GPS, and I was kind of wondering what that GPS was for. Well, I noticed that when you watch the footage, it actually puts your speed and your longitude, latitude location as you're traveling along, so you have an actual speed and where you were at what time and how fast you were going. And that actually is a function that's unique to this camera that I have not seen on any other cameras, where it's actually burned into the actual video itself. So this could be really used, let's call that court admissible evidence, okay? Because there's no question, essentially, how fast you're going and exactly where you were at the time that you were going that speed and what time of the day it was. So that GPS provides that function, and that could be a good function or a negative function depending on what you're trying to argue. If you get pulled over by a cop for speeding and you say, hey, I wasn't going that fast, as fast as you say, and you're being honest about it, then you can literally pull up the footage and show exactly to the police officer, listen, I don't care what your radar said, okay, this is exactly how fast I was going at this place. Now, thing is, if you were speeding, then it's proving that you were speeding, okay, because the police officer said, nope, look right there, you were going 10 miles over the speed limit. Okay, so it just depends. If you're a law-abiding citizen, this can back you up. If you're one that breaks the law, especially like speed and stuff like that, or run stop signs, buddy, it's going to nail your butt because it can be worked against you. But it does do what it does, and that is kind of pretty neat. Now, so the camera doesn't have a long battery life when it's not plugged in. So in order to show you some on-screen functions, I'm going to plug it in here. I just have a standard USB-C cable plugged into a phone charger, and it will power it just fine. And if you decide that you don't want to use the GPS and run the wire, you can do the same thing in your car with your standard phone cord, okay, that you would charge a smartphone with, as long as it's USB-C, and you can run it straight to your phone charger in your car. All right, so there's the camera right there. That right there, there's no SD card in it, so it won't start recording. It does have a Wi-Fi function here. You can hit that and turn that on, and if you download the Lucky Cam app from the Android Play Store, then you can actually connect to it. But there's nothing you can't do in the app that you can't do here. It's touchscreen, as you can see, okay? And you can edit everything here. You have your settings. This is where you're going to change, your resolutions and things, and you can set things here. Your backwards button. This is your enter button down there, okay? So, and just get back out of that. And there it is right there. You can press there to record. If you want to mute your audio, you can do that. Okay. This little symbol right here that looks like a exclamation mark, a little like warning sign, that's to lock a file. So if an event occurs, like a wreck or something, and you want to lock that file so it won't be overridden, you hit that little button right there, and it will lock if you have an SD card in, which I don't right now. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Because it's touchscreen, it's really easy to use. So the Wi-Fi function, honestly, you know, I'm not even sure what it's for. You could, it'd be easier to show like pictures on your phone than on this right here, but it does work either way. Okay, so that's basically the operation of that. It only has one button over here to turn it on with, turn it on or off right there. Just one button operation there. So that's pretty easy to use. You know, and it has a lot of on-screen stuff here that that'll show you stuff. If you use a standard USB-C cord with it, then you won't have the GPS functions and the longitude, latitude, and all that stuff. The date is automatically set based on your GPS location, so you have to set that manually. If you don't have the GPS connected. Let's sum this review up. It's a decent little camera. It does, you know, what it's supposed to do as a dash cam. It records, you know, front and rear video. The quality is middle of the road. It's not super great, and it's not the worst I've ever seen. I love the GPS function on it, and that can be a great thing if you're looking to prove, you know, something. At basically, you're going to know where and when it happened, okay, exactly, and how fast you were going. So that can work in your favor or against you, depending on who you are and whether you follow the speed limit or not. But that is a pretty neat deal. It, you know, like I said, it's a dash cam, and it's not that hard to install, and it's easy to use. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, please like, subscribe, and comment. I will throw a link to this product in the description of the video if you're interested in it. Until next time, this is the Gadget Man saying, I'll see you later.